It's your brother Yafeuh Balogun back one more time. Peace, power, and prosperity. Peace, power, and prosperity. I hope in your life today is prosperous and you're able to empower yourself to reach your goals. That's a that's a hope that I do have for you, and I hope that you have peace on this beautiful morning, Monday, um, December 4th. I remember hearing about Chairman Fred. I think the first time I heard about Chairman Fred was back when I was in elementary school. I was in elementary school when I heard about Chairman Fred initially. Now I know a lot of people say that this information is some things that's not taught in school or whatnot, but I actually learned about Chairman Fred first in elementary school. My teacher, Shirley Black, used to allow us to watch the Eye on the Prize. And if you're familiar with the Eye on the Eye on the Prize had a good docu series talking about the movement, talking about before the civil rights movement. Then it talks about what happened during the civil rights movement. And like I said, a segment on it is talking about Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. Okay, and I say senior because if you don't know, there is his son is active today and is really carrying on the mission of his father. His name is Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Look him up. Look him up. Total facts. Total facts. Look him up. Look him up. POCC. But I heard about Chairman Fred initially in elementary school, Adele Turner Elementary School. And the school that I went to always had an overtone talking about the black experience. Okay, now they wasn't teaching like revolutionary politics or anything like that, but they was teaching us. I don't know if it was done purposely, and but they was teaching us to be proud to be who we are. I should put it that way. I think that's the way that they were really teaching us as students. And so we would watch these documentaries. We would do reports on the documentaries, and we would talk about it in discussion. Okay, not an intimate discussion, but we would sort of talk about it. Miss Black, Miss Pruitt, Miss Gardner, Miss Allen. For those that went to Ada Turner, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about. They went out their way to teach us about the black experience. Now, also to say that these same four teachers in the fifth or sixth grade took us on a tour to the East Coast. Now, we from Texas, Dallas to be specific. They took maybe 40 or 50 elementary kids from our school who were their students to the East Coast. So we went and we saw Philadelphia. We went to DC, went to New York City, uh, Atlanta. They took us to these cities, and we spent about a week and a week and a half trip, and 1 or 2 days in each city. Went to all the tourist sites, all the basic tourist sites, and then saw the Liberty Bell and saw 125th Street and New York and uh, things like that. I thought that was, in hindsight, I thought that was powerful, but I really thought that everybody doing this, and come to find out, it was just that these four teachers cared about us enough to really give us the perception of the black experience. And through this black experience is how I came to run across the story Chairman Fred. Chairman Fred, of course, was born August of 1948, and he was murdered, and I really should say assassinated, December 4th, 1969. At a tender age, he was the leader of the local NAACP. He was the leader of the local NAACP in his area. And through that experience and through organizing, I'm assuming that gave him the confidence and the experience to later on form, or I should say, be a part of. 'Cause I think Bob Brown may have founded the Chicago chapter. I could be wrong. Forgive me if I got my facts wrong. But later on, he joined and became the leader of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. He became the chairman, Chairman Fred, as they would say. And Chairman Fred went about organizing in the community. And obviously one of the best programs they had was the uh, free food program, which they were able to feed and a multitude of people, and obviously the breakfast for children. As you look on the documentary, on the prize, it talks about uh, the Breakfast for Children program, which I think that most chapters of the Black Panther Party attempted to get that going. That was a key program that they needed to do, they needed to have, which really made them successful. And you can see from today, the school system across this country really has co-opted the uh, the food program. Really have co-opted, and you can go to any school across America, and you can see that they're offering in most places free lunches for kids. Well, of course, you know that this started with the Black Panther Party. Started with the Black Panther Party, which is a thing of should very much so be highlighted, and oftentimes is not. But the story of Chairman Fred um, was that he was a key organizer in the city. I mean, he was bringing folks together too. He was bringing folks together. He had formed something called the Rainbow Coalition, and the Rainbow Coalition was you had every color spectrum that exists that was out there organizing. He brought them together to support various causes in the community, and he wasn't very much so hyped on the gun thing. He very much so believed in the programs, and that's what I want to challenge my comrades that are currently organizing to this very day, is that the key is the programs. It's not about the gun or anything of that nature. It's really about the programs in the community, which makes us very effective in our organizing experience. It's the programs. And that's something that Chairman Fred and even echoed even louder by Chairman Bobby Seale at that same time, is that the programs is what's very important to the community, and which is something that's absolutely needed. There are millions of kids, or I should say billions of kids possibly around the world that grow hungry. I imagine if we were able to suffice a portion of that, or half of that, or take care of all of that, why those children, those families will be absolutely grateful to us. And so that's what the Black Panther Party and what Chairman Fred was about. I'm sure today, from my experience, I've been to Chicago. I was at the 50th anniversary uh, of the assassination of Chairman Fred in 2009, and I saw some key figures. Met Kathleen Cleaver, uh, Big Man. I met Big Man. Met quite a few the Move family members. They was there as well. Of course, I was there as a guest, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., and I stayed at one of his POCC safe houses. But I remember being out there December 4th, 2009 at 4 a.m. in the morning. At the same time, 50 years prior, Chairman Fred Hampton was assassinated. and just the feel of being out there that early. Now, I want to tell you one thing, and if you ever been in Chicago in the wintertime, you know that that wind in Chicago is something serious. I just don't get it. Now I know we got my GDs and the BD brothers and NLMB and uh, the various street organizations. I don't know how they maintain activity in that cold air like that. That wind in Chicago is something that I've never felt in my life. It was so cold that for me, even to stand outside for 5 seconds just really put a pain on my skin, really on my ears, really. To be honest with you, that's it. Really just put a pain on me just to really be out there in that cold. But I was out there, and I stood out there, and I spoke briefly. Gave me a chance to make a solidarity statement, and it went to other folks made a solidarity statement as well. Uh, Met Cha Cha Jimenez, Young Lords organizer. And everybody made solidarity statements. Ramona Africa made solidarity statements, the MOVE organization, all that good stuff. And I just remember like the power of being out there that particular day and remembering the legacy of Chairman Fred. And I just think that that's so important. That today is also December 4th, 2023. I'm not sure where we at on the years part, but I know that the POCC and Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. And his Chairman Fred Jr.'s mother, Akua Njeri, the wife of the assassinated Chairman Fred, has really kept his legacy alive. And if you do anything today, if you kind of want to remember Chairman Fred, and I think that they did this on yesterday, and I'm speaking about the POCC and those that's organizing currently in Chicago to keep his legacy alive. They went and watched the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. And I challenge you today to really, if you want to know about Chairman Fred, you can do one or two things. You can go watch Judas and the Black Messiah, or you can watch Eye on the Prize. Well, I should say All Power to the People documentary, which is another great one. All Power to the People is another great documentary as well that you can watch and get an understanding of what's going on or what happened so you can understand how we can, don't need to make the same mistakes that we've made in the past. I think that that's the power of these things. It's not to get caught up and be sensational. And I challenge those who may feel that way. Don't be sensational when you watch these documentaries. These are just snapshots and highlights of what occurred 50 or more years ago, but use them as tools to help you in your process. If you're not an organizer, just use it as a point of reflection to realize the importance of you to continue to progress, to realize that how these people worked hard in many situations, risked their lives and gave their lives, and some of them are sitting in a prison right now, sacrificing for the liberation movement that we currently, you know, liberation movement that's currently out there. I think that this is important. So on today, we remember Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. as a young revolutionary, as a 21-year-old person that was assassinated by the Chicago Police Department at the request of J. Edgar Hoover. Uh, Chairman Fred, the thing I want you to know is that the night before he was assassinated, William O'Neill put a concoction in his Kool-Aid, which made him sleep. And so that 4 a.m. in the morning on the day of December 4th, when the Chicago police raided, they knew well prior that Chairman Fred was going to be sleeping. They also knew the layout of the apartment that they had. They knew the layout because William O'Neill actually drew the layout of the apartment, so they knew exactly where Chairman Fred, and Chairman Fred was the ultimate target of the Chicago police, and ultimately they shot him twice in the head. after shooting perhaps hundreds of rounds of ammunition in the walls where young people were at, and a pregnant Akua Njeri, who was pregnant with Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. at the time, was also there. Uh, I couldn't imagine for her to kind of remember that day, and I know that that was a very uh, sad day, if you will, in terms of one's personal experience, but also a day of reflection because now she has her son, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., who's actually keeping the legacy of his father alive. Look these people up if you're not familiar with them. That's why we're doing this discussion, because we want to bring a air of education to this platform and make sure that everybody's informed on what's going on. But I think it's important. I think it's very important today that we remember previous generations, revolutionaries, and look at the fact of what they ultimately have brought to the table today. If you can do me a big favor, and I say it again, if you can do me a big favor, if you can like, share, even comment, that'll be cool. But definitely subscribe. Subscribe to the channel because we're gonna be discussing things that folks really don't discuss. And a lot of the things that we discuss is something that we ultimately experienced firsthand knowledge on. This is firsthand information. This is not information that we heard someone say or anything of that nature. This is firsthand knowledge that I experienced, and those that I bring upon this platform has also experienced. This is firsthand information. But as we always say, long live Chairman Fred. And in the spirit of those comrades that's active today, they say free them all. And when they say free them all, they talking about those that are held in these concentration camps around the country, especially those who have been politically motivated, who have been politically attacked, uh, just like our comrade that was locked up by the federal government in 2017, excuse me, on December 12th, Yafeuh Balogun. Um, just like that comrade was locked up during that time. It was a politically motivated because they locked him up behind this Facebook post, and they targeted him behind this Facebook post, and Alex Jones got a part of it. So free them all. Subscribe to the channel, share the content. Feel free to comment on your perspective if you ever been to International Revolutionary Day. I think that's what they call it. If you ever been there, I was there in 2009. If you ever been there, please share your experience because I think that this is something that's very important. That we have to choose our own leadership. That the power structure can't choose our leadership. They can't tell us who we choose to like and who we don't like. Meaning that they didn't choose Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. for us. We actually chose Chairman Fred Hampton ourselves. And the elder comrades who are alive today and who are kind of helping keeping that story alive. And thankfully the movie Judas and the Black Messiah came out, so that story will spread even further to this future generation. Thankfully that occurred because we have to pick our leadership, and ultimately the people will decide. The people will decide ultimately to whom we support and whom we don't support. And I want to tell you without a shadow of a doubt that the life of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. Did not perish, did not pass away, did not get murdered, assassinated in vain. That his contribution to the revolutionary struggle, his contribution to the revolutionary experience is very, very valued. And those of us in this current generation are totally grateful for it. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace, power, and prosperity. Thank you.